Wario is love, Wario is life.
Wario is love, Wario is life.
Dude, we got so much shit to talk about.
This episode started with not much news, and then in the last 48 hours, just a ton of it.
Live right now for the podcast. It's good, boo. Did do. Alrighty. God damn. It's a time, man. It is a fucking time to be alive right now.
It is.
So, happy Zelda Eve.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, man. On a scale from 1 to 10, how excited do you think you are?
On a scale from 1 to 10.
Or do you think it supersedes the scale?
It supersedes the scale. I don't think.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I was pretty excited for God of War. I was pretty excited for.
Have you not beaten?
No,
Ragnarok
of course not.
Yeah.
I had not beaten Ragnarok.
I was just curious, you know. Got to check.
This is probably the most excited I've been since Zelda dropped before. You know what? No. This is probably the most excited I've been since Smash dropped.
Shit. So do you think you're more excited for this than you were the original Breath of the Wild? Most likely then, at that measuring scale?
At first it was like, okay, I was like base level excited. Like, all right, cool, it's Zelda. I'm going to play Zelda, of course. And then when I saw these reviews and they're talking about like it's better than that one in every way and double the size and scope and then the review scores came out. I was like, well, now I'm taking it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of what's starting to sway me, and I don't know whether or not I'm diving in tonight or not. I was saying that a little bit off cam, but the way I look at it is I feel like I need to play it to have some insight, you know? A little bit, you know? That being said, I could get it now, or I could get it 5 years from now. No matter what, it's going to be the same price. Yeah. So
it was actually certain places were selling it for like slightly cheaper all day. But I didn't know if I figured anybody who was getting it already had it pre-ordered, so I didn't really bring it up.
I might pre-order it after we're done here. We'll see at the end of this podcast if I decide that I'm going to get it or not. That's the whole mystery right now. Will Chris get the game? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Stay to the end.
Stay to the end to find out. What's up, Frankie, in the chat? What you doing, dog? Or you?
Dadding it up.
Yep.
As usual.
As we do.
Yeah. Dude, this week has been good.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. I feel like it's been like a good week, but also not a good week. Like we were talking a little bit how like it's been a lot, but I feel like, I don't know, there's something in the air this week that I'm feeling better about. I don't know what. Maybe it's just playing Jedi Survivor too much. But I don't know. Like I went to a free comic book day on Saturday, and I dressed up as Red Hood for the costume contest, which never fucking was posted. I was first on the list. They took my pictures and everything, and then they never put it on the Facebook page for like voting or anything.
Why not?
I don't know. And then my dumbass, I was hanging out with friends, like, you know, because we're all doing the free comic book together and shit.
Real quick, just so you know, the Twitch still says Overwatch 2.
I swear. I'll do that. But I went there with friends.
Right.
And like we decided to go hang out at their place afterwards. Since I have my laptop now. Oh. I can mute myself there. Yeah, apparently they're hearing me double because of the headphones on your end.
On my end?
Yeah, like your headphones.
I don't even have them that loud.
Coming through your mic. I know, but you can still hear me. It's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah. How about now? Wow. It's only when I get loud, I think. So I'll just.
You weren't even that loud. Just anyway, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still there. Why is it doing? You know, what if I drop it like here? Here. There we go. If I drop your microphone to a lower amount, you won't hear it. Ah! Okay. That was loud. That was also loud. How about now? Not as bad. The main version of the podcast will be fine when it comes out tomorrow, guys, at a later time. Of course. What was I saying? Shit. Oh, so yeah, I wanted to not hold them up, so I went home to take off the Red Hood costume. And I fucking didn't take a picture myself or have any of them take a picture of me. So, like, I don't have any for my records of, like, hey, let me post this to the fucking Instagram or some shit. Hey, I did this. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, when are they going to fucking post pictures? And they just never did. Never. And I'm over here thinking, like, is it because not enough people signed up? Because I was the first person on the list for it. And so, like, in theory, I'm on the list. So you're going to put me up. Yeah, if nobody else comes. So it's in my mind at least, but I don't know. Needless to say, but I did that. That was fun. I got some goofy ass toys. I got one of these old ass Robin action figures, which we'll talk about on Figure Friday.
It looks very 90s.
It is very 90s, like early 2000s bullshit. CLD said it looks like a Power Rangers Battleizer, like one of those like big ass armors that they get on like in later seasons. So I liked it and I picked it up. But yeah, man, it was a good time. And then we played in the same room together, all playing Overwatch 2 on our laptops. It was good for us. But the people that were not with us, that were listening to us in Discord, were hearing 4 mics of the same exact room all echoing. And it was bad. And I feel really bad for them. But needless to say, it was a fun time. And I still haven't been able to get Call of Duty to work on my laptop.
After all that shit you went through with that game?
I went through a bunch of shit today, too. Like, I searched just the error code this time, and with nothing to do with Call of Duty, just like, as a PC error, what does this mean? Yeah. And I ran through the step-by-step process of stuff that I hadn't done yet. And, like, using my, like, BIOS to turn off, like, some shit, like, what was it called? I want to say DPS, but that's not at all what it is. But like there's something like in the background of your computer that's always running that you can turn off, turn that off, turned off safe boot, turned off a bunch of other shit, and still didn't work. And then I finally figured it out. How I'm going to play Call of Duty at RGB LAN in a couple of weeks when that convention happens. Right. And there with my laptop wanting to play COD. Google what is it called? Shit, I forgot the name already.
You were leading up to it and completely lost it.
Google Remote Access. So remote desktop is what it's called. And what I do is I set up my PC at home with it.
I know remote. I'm surprised that something that high intensity will still stream well over remote desktop.
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that it's not that it's streaming it. It's just capturing the screen and what's happening on my desktop. It's not streaming it over like in a highly intensive way. It's just that's what's going on your desktop, and we're connecting it through a Google web page, and that's it. So I tested it, and it works. So
no latency, none of that shit.
No issues as long as you have a good internet connection, which here I do. And I was running both laptop and PC on the same internet doing that. So you would think it would be a little bit less, but it wasn't. And that at RGB LAN, obviously they have to have good internet or else the whole event would be fucking stupid and you couldn't do it, you know?
Very true.
Like, it would just be like, why are we here? The event. So, in theory, if the internet is good enough there, and I have my PC on at home, I could be like, yo, go in my room and, you know, make sure my computer's on for me real quick, and then I could just fucking hit up and then play Call of Duty. Remote.
I for your sake, I hope it goes flawlessly.
Here's the thing: if I can't play Call of Duty, it's not the end of the world, because I have a million other games that I should probably play while at this RGB event. It is going to be interesting though, since it's mixing too many games and RGB LAN, so it's like you're gonna want to be at the convention that's there, you know, like with the vendors and the panels and the the people, which we'll get into because I technically posted in the gaming news section. But then you just go to a different building and your setup's there and you just play games till whenever.
Okay, man.
So I'm gonna have a damn good time, to say the least.
Right.
While also cosplaying Red Hood and making sure I get pictures this time.
Red Hood is like your natural element now.
I will say it was very moist, sweaty.
Very moist.
It wasn't fun in the sense of like being comfortable, but I felt you feel a certain way. Like I didn't have the helmet on the whole time because I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna wear a helmet when I'm in a tight space with a bunch of grown adults, mainly dudes, buying comic books in a humid area. Not conducive to wearing a mask with a little airflow. I can see how that would be highly uncomfortable. So I just kind of held it under my arm like it's like a motorcycle helmet, and then I finally put it on when they asked me to take a picture with it on, and like you feel different when you got that shit on. Like you're just like, ooh, I'm not me anymore, and I like that. I was like, this is what I think cosplay, the point of it is. I'm like, I've understood the assignment. So that shit was fun, to say the least. But yeah, man, what's going on with you? I dressed up like a fucking action figure over the weekend. What did you dress up as?
Me. Didn't do a whole lot of anything else. What you drinking there?
A Mountain Dew Major Melon. Okay. 0 sugar.
All right.
It's very fucking good.
You're off the hook this time.
I needed something different because like you can only drink
0.
Like I'm drinking that and this at the same time because healthy.
No, yeah, of course.
Kinda.
I just been busy as hell. Like last weekend was busy. Like Saturday, I was doing a bunch of running around. That's when I hit you up. Said I was at that park.
Yeah,
I was down there with the fam.
That park is good.
I noticed it. It is a nice spot. It's a nice little area.
Hell yeah. Did you go into any stores or did you just get the food from
We just got the food. We walked around and then we got the food.
Nice.
Next day, excuse me, shit. This is how my week is, right? That what you just saw, that's a perfect reflection of my week. The next day, we got a new grill, right? So I had to put it together, of course. And so I was putting it together outside and it got really hot. So I was like, all right, I'm going to move all of this into the house, right? So I put the whole grill together. And once it was fully together, Adrian is like, oh man, now I want to use it. I'm like, okay. So we take it back outside and she's like, oh, we should call like your mom and have her make something and come over and we'll cook out. But in my mind, I was like, that is not how I planned my day today. I didn't plan to do
You are changing everything that I
You are changing everything. So fast forward, there's coals on the grill. The grill is lit. Food is on the grill. My aunt, my mom, my brother, my uncle, and 2 cousins are over there. I was like, I didn't want to see any of you today. I wanted to do nothing and chill. And now I'm entertaining.
You're not even supposed to be here today.
Right. Now I'm entertaining somehow. So it was a good time though. Hung out, ate, drank. Was incredibly tired because at that point I've been running around all weekend. By the end of that night, I was like, I didn't sit down once this whole weekend.
Yeah.
And then of course Monday comes, you go to work. So it's been a bunch of that shit. Work has been busy. Home life has been busy. It's nice out, so I've been trying to come home and like take them out and do like not just come home and we're just in the house and we're doing the usual, let me make the lunch for tomorrow and get everybody cleaned up and everybody bedtime. Like no, I was like, all right, came home. Then we went across the street to the playground and I took both of them over there and let them hang out, have fun, whatever. We walked around in the neighborhood a little bit. And really my goal is to just tire out Brendan. Like that's the number one like goal.
For sure.
Right. Trenton, I could just be like, go somewhere. And he'll go somewhere most of the time. Anyway, so I fed Brendan. We all went out. He came back. I watched him. I'm like, yo, you should be done for. You've been messing with your mom all day. I come home, I pack you with food. Like I feed the shit out of this kid. Like I was like, no, I'm gonna make you nice and full, right? Fed him, took him out to play, came back, ended all off with a fucking hot bath with the nighttime bubble bath stuff.
Ooh, shit.
Put him in his room, top it all off with a bottle, right? Put him in his crib, gone.
Okay.
Sleep. I was like, woo, right? So like later on, I was like, all right. So Trent goes to sleep. I come back to Adrian fell asleep, and I was like, yes. I just sit on the couch and I'm just kind of chilling. And then I hear him cry. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, I'm gonna just let him chill, and then he'll go back to sleep. There's no way you could have any energy left. No way possible. And he's crying, and it goes on for a while. I'm like, I'm the only one awake, so it has to be me that's gonna check up on him.
Yeah.
So I go up there, go in his room. What did I find, Chris?
Oh, is this the thing you told me about? The poo?
Yeah, but I don't remember telling you about this one specifically.
Oh, anyway. This is not the fountain one? This is a separate one that happened? Yeah, you said that he was like leaking everywhere.
Oh, no, it wasn't that one. Fuck that day. I don't ever want to think about that day again. No, his room just smelled like shitty diapers. I was like, so I fed him and it worked to put him down, but it also
it went down real quick.
It went down. So that woke him up. But as soon as I changed it, the effect was still there because he was mad because he was shitting his ass. So I changed the fucking diaper, and as soon as I change it and I put him down, like no lie, I put him in the crib and he's like, he just immediately knocks out. I was like, all right, well, that's going to be my game plan every day now.
Hell yeah.
So I've been coming home, making them all active, washing them up, feeding them, and he's been asleep. He's been going to sleep at like 7:30, and I've been having this whole night. I haven't had a whole night in like a row since before him.
Hell yeah. You found the secret.
I did.
At least a week or two.
I have his formula down as of now.
Gotcha. Hell yeah.
I know
that's going to be great for you tonight, then.
Yes. If he wakes up tonight, I'm just going to be a bad father. I'm just going to ignore him and not go in there.
Just deal with your shit.
Yeah, you're going to have to, you should have went to the toilet, dog. I don't know.
God damn.
Yeah, man. We're getting back. I'm slowly creeping back to the time where I can finally start possibly streaming again.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited for you to stream again because I feel like we got so much new shit on the channel that like gets clips and shit. And
there's so many games I've been wanting to stream. I wouldn't even know where to start, but I think I know where to start.
Oh yeah. Make a wheel. That's what I did at one point. Yeah. Simple, easy, effective.
True that.
But
that's been my week. That's been my week.
Yeah. Well, it's time to get into this news-heavy episode.
Yeah.
Podcast. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna click the little button. And y'all are gonna listen to some music while we chit-chat behind it and think how long it is. Goodbye.
Party people in
we're
the
starting the podcast now? Huh? So we're gonna start the podcast now? What's up, party people?
Party people in the place to be. You're now chilling in the place with Anthony or A&T, whatever you want to call me. C
LD
and the CHAT with Frankie. Level up, gamers, and welcome.
Better hope Brennan don't poop or pee.
Better not fucking pee.
He's back, everybody.
I'm back with this 80s ass flow I just had. I'm Anthony, and I'm here to say I'm the ravenous guy in the USA. Those times are over. Level up.
Bring it back.
Wiki. Level up and welcome to the Save Before Quitting podcast. I go by the name of Ant, and with me today, as always, every week on the show is my co-host and friend and partner and homie, Chris.
How you doing?
Yeah. I forgot. Save letter B number 4 quitting on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Did you
Wait, what?
You froze. Did you hit your
You
cue?
froze as well, and I was laughing at Frankie's chat. Sorry. Titty.
We're already fucking up. Titty gang. Save Before Quitting, all of it spelled out at gmail.com. If you want to send us some email, savebeforequitting.com, all of it spelled out. You get all your merch. We have dope merch. I'm wearing some on my head right now. Go be a nerdy gamer person and get yourself some merch. Patreon. We have a Patreon. You get 2 extra episodes a week. We are going to binge record those soon come. So we don't have to, we can catch back up to ourselves and you guys. Discord, please join the Discord. Please do it.
Exclamation Discord in the chat.
Yeah, please. Like Discord, you want to be a part of that if you watch this show because you get to see the makings of the show, join the community, be a part of it. A lot of jokes, a lot of news, a lot of fun. So join us on the Discord, please. What's left to say, man? I guess the only
one thing,
as we do every week. Chris,
what did you play this week?
What'd you play this week?
I have played a lot of 2 games mainly, and then a little bit of others or 2. So I've been playing, obviously, Fortnite because the new Star Wars event is out right now for Star Wars Day. It's been going on for a little bit since Star Wars Day has been a thing. There's even a little battle pass I talked about last week. If you want to go find out all the ins and outs of that shit, go listen to that. But it's been pretty cool. There's rumors that there's more skins coming. One of them maybe being Ahsoka. And then another one, I forget what the other one was rumored as. I think it's the battle droids. And I really would like to be a battle droid in the game. One, because your hitbox has to be horrendous for people to hit because you're the skinny fucking wireframe guy.
Right.
And also Jedi survivors out and you kill them a lot in this game. Other than that, obviously Overwatch 2, they just also started their own Star Wars event that is not Star Wars or branded with Star Wars, but it's called Star Watch.
Go on.
So pretty much just a bunch of skins this season that are based off like aliens and shit in the battle pass. And then in this event specifically, there is it's a 4v4 game mode in which there are pretty much the rebels and the Empire, but whatever the fuck they called them in this parody. And the bad guys are trying to defend where they are because they're holding on to like the robot that has all the info, and then they have turrets set up all over the map, and then the good guys have to capture 4 points to get to the very end and win. It's pretty fun for what it is. I'm not a huge fan of some of the characters that you play on like the attacking side personally, just because they're not like characters that I often play. Like I can play them, but I don't have fun doing it.
Got it.
So there's that. So I like defense a little bit more, and it's all right. I don't understand why Overwatch keeps doing these 4v4 game modes for events, though. Besides, like, the Hanzo one that they did for Valentine's Day, which was, like, a free-for-all. Like, you just made the game 5-5 when it used to be 6-6. Why the fuck are you making your events 4-4? Like, you've made it easier to have these events be 5-5. So much, in fact, that on the map, if you're defending, you have a bunch of turrets set up everywhere. And if you're attacking, you have an AI bot that like attacks with you. So it's like, why didn't you just give that to another player instead of a bot? And then why did you give us turrets when you could have just given us another player on our team? You know, like,
yeah,
it's stupid, to be honest with you. I don't get it, and it's whatever. Other than that, the main one I've been playing is obviously Jedi Survivor. I have beaten the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking good. So fucking good. I cannot praise this campaign enough because of how fun it was, how shocking all the twists were, things that happened that you didn't expect to happen. And needless to say, this game made me feel like, holy shit, I've been gaslit this whole game until like 3 major twists and surprises happen. And I'm like, holy fuck.
Gotta love that.
But it's super fun to play. All the different stances and shit that you get are great. Currently, I'm playing it both on New Game Plus mode, just like from the beginning, and then also in my main gameplay where I'm trying to just get all the collectibles and shit.
Yeah.
So I have them. So yeah, pretty cool so far. I don't want to spoil anything because there's a lot of stuff that I could spoil. Just play the game, somebody. Please, somebody play the game.
Somebody.
I know that CLD is also playing. I don't know if he beat it yet, now that I think about it. Because the way that CLD and I were playing were a little bit different, where I'm like, I'll explore an area to a certain point, but then I'm like, I'm done with this. Because there's only so many times that I can show up to a new area, and I'm like, oh, undiscovered area. And then try to go forward, and it'd be like, well, you can't go farther because you don't have whatever this power-up is, or this movement ability. Exactly. So, like, the main one that was pissing me off was there's these little, like, almost like buoys, like, in, like, the ocean, but, like, they're floating because, you know, Star Wars. And you can use your grappling hook, which you get at the very beginning of the game, to, like, launch to them and then launch off of them. But you don't get that till, like, way late in the game. And you see those for, like, the first time very early into the game. And you just see them in the sky, and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? I can't go anywhere near it. And, like, I was just doing it before we started recording on, like, an area that was on the very first planet that you can't get around at all without that. And I'm like, well, here's all the fucking area that I couldn't see before. And it's not that amazing. So it's kind of fucking annoying. But, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of TikToks I've seen of stuff that I haven't done yet as well, where I'm like, I kind of want to, you know, cheese some shit. Like, you remember in the first game, that first really big frog that shows up? Yeah. It's like Ogdo Bogdo or some shit like that. And I think that's actually his name. Well, it's like a meme that monster was overpowered as fuck, pretty much, for like how early in the game you fight it. And in this game, you fight the son of Ogdo Bogdo. And the way they get you is very funny because it's just a trap door. Like, you'll just be walking, like, on the ground in this area of the map, and it's not even, I don't even think it's marked. I could be wrong. But you're just walking, and the ground just opens up and drops you into a pit with Ogdo Bogdo, his son.
That's funny.
And I've seen a lot of people, like, baiting enemies that are, like, heavy-hitting enemies to the hole, stepping in the middle, causing it to open, doing the double jump and dash to get away from it. So then they're fighting Ogdo Bogdo. You just have to go drop down and hit him like 2 times and you win. So I'm going to do that because
that sounds cool.
I don't want to fight it. Yeah. But it's been really fun, man. I'm really curious to see what they do in the next game, because obviously there's going to be another one after this. And the time period that this game takes place is the exact same time period as the Obi-Wan show that just came out. So, like, in theory, we could end up seeing a live-action version of Cal Kestis more realistically very soon, because we got the Obi-Wan show. They might do a season 2.
That has to be inevitable, right?
Yeah. In my mind, it is, at least. I don't know how realistic it is or how much of a difference he'll make in, like, any of the shows or anything, or if it'll just be like a fleeting cameo where it's just like a quick thing. I'd kind of like it if it was that, just so that they could still do the third game and not have to worry about, like, the ramifications of what happened in a live action show. Like, do like a one-off episode where Obi-Wan is doing some bullshit and then he runs past Cal Kestis for a second and then they both sense each other with the Force, and then that's it. That's all I need. He
doesn't need to have, like, some major overarching like position in the movie.
For sure. I just need, like, them to acknowledge each other. Maybe do like a mission together or like a little thing together, and then Obi-Wan gets offered help from Cal, but then Obi-Wan's like, I can't do it. I got to watch this child over here until he becomes a man, and then I become senile.
As I do.
It's a new hope, don't you know? And shit. That's the lines in the movie. But yeah, that's about all I've been playing. What about you?
I haven't played much just because of how I said this week went. I got Humble Bundle put out this I think it was this Capcom bundle. It was like 11 games for $10.
Yeah.
I delved into that. It had like the original Mega Man collections on there. One of the Lost Planet 3, I think. It had, I don't remember everything. I remember having Strider games that I was like, oh, I'd like to have some of these portable on my Steam Deck for $10, and for that I'll pay that to get this bundle. So I did that. I ended up diving into Strider for a little bit. I used to love the Strider games, so that was fun. But I didn't play too long. I just kind of hopped in and out of some of those. Other than that, Trent was playing my Switch the other night. He was playing Mario Kart. He's like, you want to play Mario Kart? So I just played Mario Kart with him real quick. But that's all I really played.
Oh, yeah.
I'm storing up all my playtime for...
Yeah. You got 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
I feel like I'm going to, go to, edit the podcast, and you're just going to be like, it's there. Just fucking do it. I'm busy.
Just go edit the thing.
Goddamn.
I did my part.
Did you watch Guardians yet?
Yes, I saw Guardians.
Without spoiling anything, because obviously it's the weekend of. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was good. I'm not like that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Well, I like the Guardians movies in general.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I enjoyed it. I didn't. How do I put this? It wasn't like holy shit. You know what I mean? To me. But it was good. They've definitely. It's hard to talk about it without saying things that happened in it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it was fine. I didn't love it, and I'm so confused by the people that are saying it's the best MCU film of this. What's it called? Phase or whatever. I'm like, I don't think so. It's not amazing by any means.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I don't think much has been. I think
no, it's true, but I don't.
We talked about this before. I think Shang-Chi was great. If we count that as the
best one,
yeah, that. But I think it's easy to say that it's that, and I wouldn't 100% even disagree. It's at least up there because the bar is already kind of low. So it wasn't hard if you're coming with a formula that was already been proven to be great. This combination of these movies and James Gunn and you already kind of know what you're getting. Obviously, it's a different story for this, but the formula of a Guardians movie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, with that being said, I expected it to be good. And people who are saying it's the greatest of this phase, I'm not mad at that opinion because I just don't think anything has been mind-blowing yet anyway in this phase.
I agree. Yeah. I don't know. I also left feeling and this might just be me, but obviously if you've seen any of the trailers, you know that it's heavily based off of Rocket's story as a character. The one thing I will say is I really wish there was more Rocket stuff in it. Of the Rocket that we know. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that's flashbacks and origin story stuff and why he is the way he is today. And then the reason we like Rocket, no offense to all of that stuff because it was good, is the way he is today. And we don't get to see a lot of that.
Right.
Because it's, it's mainly backstory and whatever happens in the movie without spoiling anything. And I'm just why is there not more Rocket. I want more Rocket. Yeah. Like that's what this movie is supposed to be for.
One thing I was like, I guess confused about was, because this isn't a spoiler because he's in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
Adam Warlock was just confused. Like his whole role was just like he did everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
And then like there's no like big resolve for that character. And obviously they're building to something with him for some kind of inclusion or ultimate, like you kind of can tell where it's gonna go and who they're gonna have to end up fighting, like that has to do with him later. Mm-hmm. But as far as this movie, it was just like he was just random.
Yeah, he was so random, in fact, that my dad leaned over to me while we were sitting there watching it. He's like, "Isn't this the dude from that one movie with the guy from Ted Lasso, and he got his like balls bit by a spider?" And I'm like, "That's what he's known for." Mm-hmm. Like, you couldn't separate that. Like, that's immediately what you thought. And like, I don't know, man. He was fine. But
I don't even want to say he had his moments, but he just didn't really. It's almost like you didn't need him yet.
I feel the same about him with the way that I feel about Kraglin. The dude, James Gunn's brother. Character.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way about those two characters. Like, in this movie specifically, at least. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like, if you've played the Guardians of the Galaxy game, you know that Adam Warlock is much different in the comics, because that was much more faithful to that adaptation. Mm-hmm. And this was not that.
Yeah, like, I'm like...
And also the post-credits scene, the second one, fuck you. Making me wait for that. Fuck you. That's bullshit. That's all my thoughts right there.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's like, you fucking kidding me right now? Like, I didn't mind waiting for the Mario movie post-credit scene. That one felt less of a waste of time than this one.
And that's hard, because that Mario one was like, well, duh, he was in the movie.
I don't know.
Like this, like, yeah, the misdirection. Obviously, I'm not gonna say anything, but they made you believe. In fact, I feel like it was just verbatim said that blank is going to happen in this movie. Mm-hmm. And then, like, blank happens, like, technically twice, but then it doesn't. And I was like, well, then what the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know. Besides that, and well, before we get in the news, the best part about that movie, and I will say that I was going to the AMC in Chamonix Mall, and I was going with my mom and dad, and then my mom's friend Carolyn. It was her birthday, and like I'm close with her friend Carolyn. She's like the one friend that my mom has where I'm like, you're not a complete idiot. Like, most of my mom's friends, I'm just like, you're just a bad influence on who she is as a person. You're a good person because you call her on her bullshit, which is good.
You went with the cool crowd.
Exactly. So I'm eating. We get meal at a Cracker Barrel, and you know myself.
Where the crackers are.
I am so zooted at this motherfucking place, this farm ass motherfucking restaurant, and I'm failing. I accidentally took a little bit too bit of a hit. That's all I'll just say.
Your parents know you smoke, right?
Yeah.
All right.
100%. But here's the thing. I can mask when I'm high or not. And like, it was very funny because my mom recently got into edibles and had one at a family event and was obviously high to the point where everyone texted me and my brother like, is she? And we're like, yeah. And I was at the restaurant like, do you think I'm high right now or do you not think I'm high? She's like, you're not high right now. You didn't. I'm like, I am blitzed. I can mask this.
Yeah.
But that being said, I bought my candy from, you get the candy sticks, the stick ones from Cracker Barrel. It's just like a flavor and a little candy, like these dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been.
I love them.
Yeah.
Love that candy. It's $5 for $1. So I'm like, fuck yeah, movie snack, baby. Get that shit. go to the AMC, and the AMC that's near me has a bar to the side, and they're playing the Sixers game 5, I think it was, because tonight's game. No wait, game 4, because last
game 4
night,
they're at it's 3-2 now. They got to go against Boston again.
There's a game right now happening.
Yeah.
But that game was on, and it was like right at the buzzer beater at the end of whether or not they got that 3-point shot, I think it was. But it was like right after the clock went. And I'm standing at one of the tables.
Look at us, sports podcast.
I'm just zooted. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening in this sport ball game. And then everybody at the bar starts cheering. And I like to people watch, so I'm looking at all the bar and people, and I'm like, oh, look, they're so happy. That's crazy.
Having so much fun.
And then I look to the very end of the bar, and I see a tall, dark gentleman smiling ear to ear from the Sixers win. And I'm like, that cannot be. That can't be. So then I'm high, so I have a little less social anxiety than I normally do. And I just jauntily walk over. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Motherfucking CLD is there with his fiance. I meet her. She's a lovely woman. Very nice. And we talk. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm so far gone. So he got to experience full zoot.
Full zoot.
I was gone, dude. I was Super Saiyan 3 zoot. Like, this was to go further beyond.
You were Super Saiyan.
I was a zoot per Saiyan.
Oh, shit, they lost? I didn't even know. Fuck, it was 3-3 now? I thought they had it. I'm like, well, this is it. They're gonna.
Well, you know, they have to do that because then they go to game 7 and they make more money.
I mean, fuck that. Win or don't.
No, it's scripted. I don't give a fuck. Real sports are wrestling. Wrestling is just man enough to say that they script it. That's the only difference.
I don't think I'm not. I do think a part of yes, right? But I don't know. I guess it's when it's this. It's just like fucking save that for the finals.
No, they need to get every last fucking penny out of every simpleton in the city that will be like, nah, I'm gonna go to the next game. I'm going to game 7, even though it's not even game 7 that matters yet. And watch, if they do go on, there's gonna get to another game 7 after that.
Were they at Boston or were they home?
Tonight was home because there's also a Taylor Swift concert at the same time.
I wanted them to win the series.
For Taylor Swift.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna cross up fucking Taylor Swift and bang on the fucking head. I wanted them to win at home and not have to go back to Boston.
I feel that. Home field advantage and such. But yeah. It was fun, man. It was fun to see CLD in person. I hadn't seen him since when was it last time?
Y'all went to that wrestling event, right?
Might have been that, yeah. Might have been AEW with me, CLD, and Brett. I think that might have been it. But yeah, it was fun. It was cool to see him there as well. So hope they had a good time when I did not. But yeah,
you were Super Saiyan 4.
I am Super Saiyan 4. This is to go further beyond. Puffing O's
it's
out
just,
like
it's
they're
just
fucking
gold smoke coming out of your pores.
I'll just do an O and then put my hand up. Destructo disc.
It just wafts onto somebody and breaks apart. Like, the fuck are you doing?
The fuck are you doing here?
Smoke on me.
All right. Well, it is time for the motherfucking news, and here comes motherfucking Mario's butt. Welcome to Say Before Quitting News, sponsored by our merch. Go pick it up.
Hey.
And put it on.
And put it on.
Pick it up and put it on. Put it on. I believe our first news story, if I'm correct, is the interview with Phil Spencer.
Jeez. Yo, I said this to Chris before we started the show. We had a nice, humble amount of news. It wasn't anything crazy. I'm like, all right, cool. In those little streamlined episode. In the last 2 days, we've gotten so much news.
It is shocking how much shit has come out in the past 2 days. But we're going to make our way through. We don't have to stay too long on everything. for this interview. Kind of funny, got Phil Spencer on pretty much like the day or two after Redfall dropped.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, Redfall sucks.
Shocker.
Which actually is a shock.
I downloaded it and just
everyone-
never touched it after a while. Like I do everything, but specifically this, of course.
If I were you, after we're done recording, in theory, you'll probably edit the podcast sometime tomorrow because you want to play.
I'm gonna edit it tonight.
If you finish early, hop in Redfall for a little bit before Breath of the Wild comes out, just so you can appreciate Breath of the Wild more. But you need to experience Redfall and how bad it is. But he pretty much came on the podcast and was very openly honest about how poorly it's doing and whatnot, which was neat to see, to say the least.
Yeah. The best thing about Xbox is probably Phil Spencer.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just
in Game Pass.
I put Phil Spencer above Game Pass. You're better than that, Phil. You are. But yeah, it was a nice, refreshing honesty from him that like they're disappointed how the game came out. Obviously, nobody wants the game to flop like the way it did, but obviously they're in talks of trying to salvage it and see what they can do. They also talked, I think, a little bit about the Activision deal and how they were pissed off how it was shut down by Britain.
Yes.
I think it was.
Yes.
And how the way that they shut it down was not totally honest or something along those lines. So they're doing it again. They're trying to counter their argument with more facts so that they can still go through with it. So it's not over yet.
Yeah.
In the sense of the Activision acquiring. But yeah, I don't know. It was a nice, refreshing interview. We do have the link to that. It's a little bit back, so you got to scroll up if you want to watch it. It's a good interview, so check that out. He
also just talks about Xbox in general, how they realized that it was surprising, but also pretty admirable to hear him say, we can't. They was even if, let's just say Starfield, he said, if Starfield is an 11 out of 10, that's not going to all of a sudden get millions and millions of people, hundreds of millions of people to buy Xbox. He's like, we know we're in quote unquote third place. He was like, we can't, what did he say? He said, we can't obviously turn the tide completely and all of a sudden beat Nintendo and Sony. He's like, we know that. He's like, but that's not their goal. Their goal is to be a service to gamers. And they're just trying to cement themselves. He was like, and yes, I know with Redfall, he was like, unfortunately, it didn't hit the things they meant to hit with that game. He said they're doubling down. They're going to keep up with their presentation they got coming in June. So hopefully some exciting things people can get re-excited for. He knows they owe the people, a vast amount of games, something to power Xbox, because they realize they're not hitting what they want to hit. What else did he say?
There was a lot, and it was a long time ago.
Yeah, he was
galaxy far, far away.
He said he feel like they lost the most important generation because they weren't able to keep their foothold after Xbox 360 and losing the generation in the Xbox One era and PS4 gaining that much traction. He said PS4 took the lead and then put out exclusive after exclusives and banger after banger to the point where they're he said they lost. Pretty much their loss in that generation kind of put them further behind than they expected to be. And he said he's not making any excuses. He said they're just trying to power forward, and there's things that people should be excited for. And
I did that.
Obviously, Xbox gamers or gamers in general, if you've heard that before, they've said that before. I just hope. I think what they could do to help them, in my personal opinion, is they need more shit that we don't know about. Now they need more Hi-Fi Rush treatment. They need to have games we know nothing about. Be like, hey, this is coming out and it looks really good, and it's available now, or next month, or some shit.
I agree with that, because that's the shitty part, is how bad Redfall is, and the hype behind it. It really sucks because you put so much time and so much effort into promoting it, but then you drop Hi-Fi Rush on the same day that you talk about it, and it's phenomenal, but I forget about it because the whole time you're telling me Redfall, and you keep fucking hammering that into my head, and then it comes out and it's finally shit. I can't remember the good game because you've been fucking hammering the shit in my head for so long, and then you released a pile of shit with sprinkles on it.
Right.
And vampires for some reason. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's also nice just having like a person that you can like directly be like, he knows what's going on in the company, as opposed to like a Nintendo or a Sony where it's just like things are happening everywhere in that company. They have so many acquisitions of smaller studios and shit, and like there's heads of those studios that are talking about stuff and directors from like this and that, and like you hear so much from so many people compared to Xbox where it's mainly just Phil Spencer. It's almost the Jeff Keighley of Xbox, if that makes sense. Like he's just there to like promote and give you the opinion of everything, and it's nice to have that compared to millions of voices, or in fact with Nintendo sometimes no voices with like one dude who snaps his fingers with the fucking Switch Directs, which are boring.
I think that you're right, because he's out of the three companies, he's the only one that's like people facing.
Yeah,
the three tentpole companies. Because we only hear from Nintendo during Directs, like you just said.
We've never heard from Gabe Newell.
Who?
The guy from like Steam and Valve.
Oh yeah,
Gaben, you know.
Yeah, you never hear from him. And
Sony's dude's just fucking rich. That's why you don't have to fucking hear from him ever.
And Sony is back to their, which they earned. They're cocky, like we don't have to say shit. We're PlayStation.
Yep.
Now, and you know, the fanboys are going crazy. You know, like on Twitter, they're just fuck it. Like the Sony people are like fuck Xbox, and then the Xbox people are trying to fight back, but they can't. Because what are they gonna say? But I don't like the fact, like, for me, it's like, shouldn't we want Xbox to be powerful? Because it would challenge Sony. Because then they'd have to. I want two companies that have to keep one upping each other, because then we just benefit as the gamers.
That golden era that you want was like PS3 era for me. Like that was when I feel like the console wars were at their highest and like biggest deal. Like in high school, every fucking day hearing about like Halo and not knowing a thing about it because I don't have an Xbox, but then also being on PlayStation, and there's not too many exclusives at that time on PlayStation 3 that are like must do besides like Sackboy, which isn't amazing. But then like PS4 comes out and you're like, oh fuck, here we get Spider-Man and we get this and we get that. So it's like they kind of one up themselves, but it was still going back and forth. Like I don't need to play Halo because I can play everything better on PlayStation. Blah, 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 you know. And I think Uncharted was also that time as well.
PS3 was, like you said, Sackboy. It was Resistance. It was Uncharted. It was the original God of Wars. It was Need for Speed, Gran Turismo. I know I'm missing some very important PS3 games, but Grand Theft Auto, even though that was multi-platform, but most people went to PlayStation for it. Killzone. It had a library, but 360 was at such a high.
Yeah.
360 was like on par. Like it was like, no, Xbox. That's the generation was like, oh, Xbox is here to stay. They're 100%. Fucking shit up over there.
That was the only time where I thought about switching to like full on Xbox shit.
That generation, I was Xbox. I didn't get a PS3 until God of War 3 came out, and it was right before Grand Theft Auto 5 originally dropped. Because I didn't want to play that on Xbox. I wanted to play it on PlayStation.
So many years ago, and it's still played today.
Still go. So like 360 was killing shit. And then they had like their online community was bigger. And it was just great.
For sure.
And then PS3 caught up in the end because they had with Infamous, like they had some bangers.
How did I forget about Infamous? Oh man. Dude,
but Xbox fumbled the bag because then they tried to make this console that was your one place to go. You could connect your cable to it. It's a one-piece media. They didn't focus on the games. They focused on like the multimedia around it. Oh, but it also plays video
Army.
games.
Yeah.
Huh?
It wouldn't be like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, and no, that's not what we don't need you to be that. Because then PS4 came and it was like curtains. Like PS4 came, that's back when they were putting out good Battlefield games. Battlefield 4 dropped with that shit. I remember getting that. We already know. Spider-Man, God of War, like all
and the rest is history. And
the rest is
Sony
history.
is just big boy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Man.
We could obviously talk about this forever, but yeah, I like the fact that Phil Spencer pretty much was like, yeah, we know, we own it, and we'll do better.
I appreciate that from them a lot. Like, I'm never going to be an Xbox person, but I will always have Xbox Game Pass because I respect the fuck out of them. I support what they're doing with Game Pass, and then when I have it, and it's worth it for like the amount that it is. But yeah. That's the thing. If you'd like to go watch that interview, it's probably a little bit shorter than how much we just talked about it, but you know, go check it out. It's in the Discord.
Yeah.
Next in the news.
Sound
like Pete's kid from the Goofy movie. Next up in the news.
Spider-Verse is coming. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. You can buy your tickets now. So Go do that.
I'm excited for this shit, man.
Oh, hell yeah. We've been waiting for this.
Yeah. After that, there's a little bit more information on a lower link, but we're just going to mention it for a quick second now. ROG Asus, if you don't know, the PC company, have pretty much announced and given us a full spec review of a new handheld device called the ROG Ally. If you've seen a Steam Deck, imagine that, but in white. Because that's practically what it is, minus the touchpads, I believe.
Yes, no touchpads.
Yeah. It is a little bit more expensive. We'll get into that a little bit later, but that was announced, and we recently got that at the time for it as well. Next
up, Karl Urban is in the final talks to be Mortal Kombat 2's Johnny Cage. If you don't know who Karl Urban is, watch The Boys, and you will know who Karl Urban is. I can see him playing that role.
Same. I feel like they needed to have him as the role in order for me to give a shit about that movie. Because the first one, in all honesty, kind of dumb. The first one of the reboot, it wasn't great. They introduced a character that nobody gave a shit about.
Yeah, that was the dumbest part of the movie.
Yeah, and it just was, while the fights were cool and all the stuff that was happening, like, visually was cool, the story was horrendous.
You know what? But it was, I think that movie was fun though. Like I didn't I don't think it was better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation in the 90s. That shit was garbage even then. But I liked the Mortal Kombat movie. It wasn't like this is a classic and I need to watch it again. It was a fun ride, that movie.
I liked it whenever the dude that they introduced wasn't on the screen.
Yeah, he was pointless.
Yeah. I just didn't like him, and I didn't think that what they did with like his powers and stuff were creative, really. Like it wasn't anything special.
You can tell he was an afterthought. You could tell somebody walked in and we was like, we need somebody who's going to be an analog to the viewer watching the movie.
For sure.
It was like, we don't need that. You could have just had the Mortal Kombat characters. That would have been fine.
Yeah. But I think Karl Urban being cast in this role would be great for it, just because big name from The Boys. Obviously, he's doing great things right now. And me wanting to see him in that role is cool. If they don't do him, I think in my mind, this is a dumb decision, but I would want The Miz from WWE.
Yeah, everybody's saying The Miz.
Yeah. Just because I feel like he was made for that role, and that's literally his character on WWE. But the thing is that if you do that, this then becomes one of those straight to DVD movies for me, in my opinion. Just because I don't think The Miz is that big of an actor where it's like, oh my god, Johnny Cage is in this now, and you see it's The Miz, and you're like, who the fuck is that? For most people. And that's fine. I would have a great time with it. I love that idea. I'm pretty sure there's a couple people in chat that would love that as well. But Karl Urban is the correct choice. Hands down. So,
I wouldn't mind The Miz. I just think that, I don't know.
I wouldn't mind it, but you would love Karl Urban, though.
I mean, I like Karl Urban too. I don't think The Miz would be bad. I think he would carry that. Like you said, he already is that person. So I might like him more, if not the same as Karl Urban, to me personally. And I'm not even in like, I'm not heavy into wrestling, but I can recognize who's gonna be a good role, who would play that role well.
Yeah. For sure.
If it works, it works. If I don't, even if I didn't know him, I'd be like, all right, like I didn't know some of the people who played the other characters in the first movie. So for me, it wouldn't pay me any, never mind, because I know who Johnny Cage is. And as long as you can be Johnny Cage, I'm sold.
Hell yeah. I agree. There's also some Mortal Kombat news. Did we post about that or no?
No,
if not, then we can just bring
Mortal Kombat 12 teaser thing.
Yeah, so we got a teaser for Mortal Kombat 12, but it's not as simple as you may think because it showed it on a ticking clock, the teaser, and it went from, I think the left side, I don't know what number it started at, but it went all the way up to 11, and then this weird thing happened in which it skipped 12 entirely and went to 1.
Yeah.
A lot of people who know about the campaign of Mortal Kombat 11 have been pointing out the fact that Mortal Kombat 11's campaign is kind of like a universe reset.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, whatever happens at the end, it kind of sets it back to the beginning. So a lot of people are saying that it's not going to be Mortal Kombat 12.
Yeah, one reboot.
It's going to be Mortal Kombat. Just, that's it.
But they did that already.
They did.
Mortal Kombat 9 was just Mortal Kombat.
True. But this is Mortal Kombat 1, but without the 1.
They did. So, they can't call it that.
That would be just call it Mortal Kombat. That's it.
That would be the third just Mortal Kombat. It hasn't been long enough. They could do
something like bullshit, like Infinite at the end or something. Like
Infinite is overused. I don't want to hear another game with the subtitle Infinite.
In my mind, you do something like that, and then you can make the game a live service game. Because I feel like a lot of fighting games make sense to do that. Like, we don't need Street Fighter 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's the same shit. It just looks prettier, and it moves seamlessly as it progresses. That's all that
Mortal
happens.
Kombat is something that kind of grows in a way where it needs to be a complete new sequel. Like, because they're not going to overhaul the graphics in a DLC.
True. They could figure it out, though. Could be the first ever to do it. You never know.
True that.
That's technically what GTA is doing with the GTA Online, which is technically just GTA 5, but
Yeah. True that. I guess we'll see.
But yeah. Next up in the news, I don't think this is me, right? Is it you?
I said the Karl Urban thing.
Oh. Okay, cool. Chrono Odyssey is a game that was shown off recently. Chrono, at the front of that, made a lot of people, not only in our Discord, but in the comments section, think, holy shit, it's a Chrono Trigger game, or it's connected.
Disrespectful.
It's not.
Disrespectful.
A lot of the comments, my favorite one was, I came for the Chrono, and I stayed for the JRPG that looked pretty decent. And to quote you specifically on the Discord, it looks like Final Fantasy meets Elden Ring, so that's fine. That's it. It looks cool.
If you're not Square, don't put Chrono in the title of your games. You are setting people up for you setting expectations so high. They're lucky the game looks decent. It's one of those things where I want to walk in that office like, you motherfuckers are lucky. All right. Even though we haven't touched this game yet.
You only get one, motherfuckers.
Yeah, but don't you ever in your life use the word Chrono again. I don't see one Square sign or poster in this room. Don't you ever do that shit again.
Motherfuckers are rectangles, god damn it.
Exactly. Rectangle Soft. Rectangle Enix. I'm just like,
Rectangle Hard.
I don't. What it all boils down to, give me the Chrono Trigger reboot I've been wanting. Make it. Please.
One day. It's not like they'll never do it.
I feel like that's the most, like, not the most, but one of the most, like, overlooked things ever. They haven't. Give me a sequel. Give me a remake. Give me something to the original Chrono Trigger.
It's one of those things where they know.
I want a Chrono Trigger reboot or sequel.
I feel like it's one of those things where they know that it's good though, and if they ever have something go bad, like say if Tears of the Kingdom came out and it didn't get the 10 out of 10 reviews and it was shite, that's like something they could fall back on and be like, oh, we have Chrono Trigger in the works, or like they could just be like, now start working on it. You know what I mean? Like,
but how could that's not Nintendo though?
What do you mean?
Chrono Trigger was on Nintendo, but it's not a Nintendo game.
You don't think that they would reboot it through Nintendo?
Nintendo wouldn't. Square would have to do that.
I thought they would just be on the Nintendo system. To be fair, then
I mean,
again,
Square's on is
dumb.
multi-platform now. They like, if anything, it would probably be on PlayStation.
Shit.
It would either
I've
be on PlayStation, or if it was like Pixel, or it would probably or on Switch. But Square could put it anywhere they wanted, unless somebody bought the rights. Unless Sony was like, "We want all the rights to this."
True. All right. Well, I didn't know any of that because I never played the game.
Well, Chrono Odyssey looks fun. Let's just hope it actually is by the time it drops.
Check out the trailer. It looks like another like one of the same types of games that just comes out. It's like, yeah, it's an Elden Ring clone, but not really. So, what's next?
Next up, May 9th. Well, that's not news anymore.
Skip over there.
Yep. Doctor Strange 2's writers weren't able to watch WandaVision before finishing the sequel. Okay, you posted this. I didn't really read this.
Yeah.
If it seemed Wanda Scarlet Witch's character's beats were a little off in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, well, there might be a good reason for that. The sequel's writers couldn't watch WandaVision as it wasn't finished yet. Wow.
The fact that that's a thing.
Yeah.
And when I saw that movie, I was immediately like, that's not the Wanda after WandaVision. What the fuck is this shit? Like, this is a bit much. And it's because it's true, and that's the way it was. Also, like, how the fuck do the sequel writers not able to watch WandaVision? Cool, makes sense. Give them the fucking script.
Yeah.
Like, give them the script, give them anything. And then after, like, I don't know, man. It's also weird to me because, like, not to put it on Elizabeth Olsen as the actress, but it's like, you obviously did WandaVision prior to Doctor Strange's filming because that's how things get made, you know?
Right.
So, you know how your character ended in that season. You went to the premiere for the show. You probably watched the show with family or did, like, you know, like you were in the thing.
Right.
How are you then going to go to a movie that is supposed to be a continuation after WandaVision? Because obviously you got the outfit from that show, so boom, makes sense in brain, and then completely play the character a different way than the character was portrayed in the show.
You're confusing yourselves and everybody else.
Like, I don't get it. Like, and here's the thing. It could also be the director just being like, that's not how I want it. There's a million factors. But it's so stupid to me that the writers for this movie didn't get the fucking scripts to WandaVision. Like, you're working at Marvel. There's a Marvel Google Drive somewhere. Like, give me the keys. For fuck's sake. I don't know. I just saw that and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Yeah, next up, huge in bold, Sony has seemingly signed a deal with Kojima for Metal Gear
Konami. Those are two different things.
I have, what's the thing where you see letters differently than what they are?
Dyslexia?
That thing. I have that maybe. With Konami. For
People are going to hear that and be like, wait, what? Kojima?
I mean, kind of. No, isn't Kojima over at Xbox right now?
No. Well, he had some kind of deal with them to make a game over there, but he's not like with them.
He's like with them. He's like side hoeing them.
He's on a project deal with them.
He's holding their pocket as they walk down the street in third place. But Konami, for Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and possibly Castlevania, with Metal Gear Solid 3 set to potentially be showcased at the PlayStation Showcase this month. Yeah, pretty cool. Metal Gear Solid is something that I have no idea about.
Metal Gear is pretty dope, especially for the time. Like, I feel like if you played it now, you'd be like, so, because the formula has been built upon. since. But I love Metal Gear. I played 1 and 2. 3, I didn't play. Like I watched somebody play 3. Like I was at my friend's house and he was playing 3. I didn't play 4 at all. I have 5 and have never touched it, and they say that's one of the best games ever. I've never played it.
Damn. You know what I think my brain did? I think my brain saw Kojima in the picture and then replaced it with Konami and the writing.
Well, I get it because Kojima made Metal Gear.
I didn't know that until I read this picture.
He made it. He was with Konami and created Metal Gear.
Gotcha.
And he left Konami. He doesn't have a relationship with them anymore. But Konami retains the rights to the Metal Gear Solid name.
Gotcha. The only thing that I know about Metal Gear is that the main dude is named Snake, and there are different forms of him, apparently. There's solid, liquid. Is there gas Snake?
I don't think there's gas Snake, no.
There should be gas Snake in the new one, or if they make a new one like Gassy Snake, and it's just like Snake who's farty. And that he's in Smash. That's it. That's all I know.
Yep, you don't know much.
That's it.
The story
There's
is
solid,
really,
liquid, and we need a Gassy.
The story is pretty. The fact that they're starting from 3 is what kind of throws me, though.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, just start back at 1. I'd rather that.
Like
I mean, they
Mortal
remade.
Kombat.
Yeah, right. They remade 1 before, but not in a super modern way. They just upped the graphics. I want them to do a complete
remake
of 1.
Gotcha.
And go from there. Kind of how Capcom is doing with Resident Evil right now. They should do that with Metal Gear.
Oh yeah. Next up, something that you posted. I'm gonna let you take the reins on this reading.
All right, we got new Starfield details from the ESRB. You assume the role of a miner tasked with finding artifacts across the galaxy. What does that sound like? What game does that sound like?
Minecraft and Death Stranding.
No, you were playing it online. Space game, go planet to planet.
Oh, fuck. It's on the tip of my tongue.
No Man's Sky.
We give it so much praise. That
No Man's Sky.
Yeah. No
Sounds like No Man's Sky. Anyway, human, robot, and alien enemies. Futuristic guns, lasers, axes, and explosives. Sex confirmed. A fictional drug. Fictional drug Aurora is prominent in the game. One section involves players working in a drug lab. This is Grand Theft Auto now. In-game purchases confirmed. Yay. Rated M for blood, language, suggestive themes, and use of drugs and violence.
I don't see sex in that list, so do we have to assume that the violence is the sex?
Or the suggestive themes.
What about the use of drug?
Well, they said somebody works in a drug lab.
I hope it's not for the blood.
Starfield is just like sex and drugs. It's just sky fucking. It's just like
sex, drugs, and fucking SoFi, girl. Not SoFi, lo-fi. Fuck, my joke. Ruined it.
Like, what involves a player? Like,
I don't know, man.
Sex confirmed. It's just so funny to me. It's almost as if people were like, man, I hope sex is in this game. Sex confirmed.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that sex isn't in video games enough. Because there are so many times in games that you're like, these characters want to fuck. There is a sexual tension here that needs to be relieved, and then it never gets relieved. Ever. In fact, it might have been in a game that I played recently. I'll wait a couple weeks to talk about that. Mm-hmm. But there's a sexual tension, and you need to release that shit. I'm not saying you need to see it on screen, but like, here's the thing. For me, playing Cyberpunk 2077, even when it first came out, and having the option to just casually have sex with people or try and like make a relationship with people, the fact that you create a relationship with them and then it does end in some sort of sexual encounter, it feels, I don't know how to, like, you actually achieve something
Right.
In that sense, because it's like we have now created this bond. We are a thing now through this act that we have performed or whatever in future times or whatever. Or you could just go to the fucking city and buy a Joy Toy, which is a weird thing that's in the game. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about Starfield until we see actual, like, full-length gameplay. I want to see, like, a full mission, like a full 15-minute mission of whatever the fucking quest is. Just show it to me. That's all I want.
I agree. I want to see it too. It's the least they can do.
Next up, not really much news, but over with the whole hype of Spider-Verse right now, there's a website you can go to called spidersociety.com, in which you can take a selfie, and through the use of AI art that is, I'm pretty sure, only provided by the creators of the movie, which is nice. And it's pretty much just a Snapchat filter as far as I'm concerned. You can kind of make yourself look like you're in the Spider-Verse movies, which is fun. It takes like 3 minutes to do. I posted mine. You get the mask on and mask off version. Ryan's doesn't have a neck, but also has a really weird collarbone that's protruding.
Yeah, it's weird looking.
So that's a thing, I guess. But if you want to go try that, go check it out. Spidersociety.com.
Yeah,
it's fun. Check
it. Next up. Star Wars Jedi Survivor patch fixes PS5 HDR issue. PH5.
That's what you test your pool with. That's the water version of the PlayStation 5 you can play underground. The PH one.
It's the underwater PS5. Your PS5 comes encased in a glass case and it's underwater in the case.
One of these days that'll be a thing. The waterproof PlayStation.
For those who want to play it in water. Jedi Survivor patch fixes PS5 HDR issues and a PC patch is coming.
Yeah, the so PC patch is needed.
They're still working very hard to get Jedi Survivor working perfectly across all platforms. So shout out to Respawn and the team over there.
I will say that one glitch I was having where my game crashed, I did figure it out. That elevator, if you open any of your menus while the elevator is going, that's what caused the crash.
Oh.
So you just gotta sit there and let the long elevator ride happen, and by the time you get to the top, you're good. So
go.
Pretty cool. What is next in the news? Wario64 posted Project Bloom is in early development. Private Division announces publishing partnership with Game Freak, a new action-adventure IP with the codename Project Bloom that is expected to launch during Take-Two's fiscal year of 2026.
Now, I posted that because I thought it was interesting. Hold on, Private Division. I thought it was interesting in the sense that Private Division was a team who made, let me get to the list. I just had the list up. They're the team behind Hades. They're the team behind Kerbal Space Program, Ollie Ollie World, The Outer Worlds.
Lots of very good games.
And I bring this up because them teaming up with Game Freak to put out an action-adventure game, and Game Freak, as we all know, are the Pokemon people. I think that team with Game Freak would make something very interesting. And I'm very interested to see what those two teams could come up with together.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we should like keep an eye on.
Hell yeah. I'm assuming the picture in the screenshot isn't actually like a thing, and it's kind of just someone found some artwork of something.
I didn't know what that was. I thought that was just like early art footage of whatever they're coming out with.
Yeah.
Early assets.
Well, we'll see.
Yes.
I'm interested to see where that will go. If you didn't see it for Free Comic Book Day, they released a comic for Marvel's Spider-Man 2023 that is an interlude in between Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 that is coming soon. It was kind of hard to find and didn't find it myself. and they didn't give it away as a free comic, so that kind of sucked. But CLD was kind enough to find the link, and you can go and read it online digitally if you'd like to do that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not too pressed to read it in the sense where I'm like, if this comic was like a necessary thing, the story that's in the comic would be in the game. And it's not gonna be, unless it is, and they have proved me wrong, but it's supposed to be what happens in between, and I can't imagine to be that big of a deal that, you know, they wouldn't just put it in the game itself. So read that if you'd like. It's in our Discord. Thank you, CLD, for finding that and posting it in the Discord.
Word.
Next
up, there is a My Nintendo Legends of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sweepstakes happening over on My Nintendo on their Nintendo website, in which you can enter to win a return to a strategy guide, a piggyback strategy guide for the game. Laser engraved crystal statue of the Master Sword, a SanDisk micro SD Nintendo Switch card, 1 terabyte, Zelda themed, a wireless controller, a wireless Bluetooth Pro controller that is also Zelda themed, and a carrying case for your Switch that is Zelda themed, and of course the game. So I guess if you would like to enter that contest, you go to mynintendo.com and enter that contest.
Yeah, you can get that link in our Discord thanks to Hib Extra.
Yep.
Next up, Ant posted this cool screenshot without the link, so I don't know where the link is.
Ah, shit. GQ magazine.
Yeah. But it's the top 100 games of all time as voted by a panel of 300 devs, journalists, streamers, and more. Just the top 10 isn't terrible, I wouldn't say. It's not the worst top 10. You know?
It's fine.
Like, there's nothing wrong with this top 10, I would say.
I just sent you the link.
Gotcha. Let me go to that. We'll do it from there. Where do you want to start at? Do you want to start? No, because we're not doing all 100.
No, we're not. Shit. I don't know where to start.
You want to do like top 20?
Sure.
We can speed run this shit.
All right.
That's actually a really good pick because number 20 is Elden Ring.
Okay.
I feel like that should be at least in the top 10 with the acclaim that it has had for sure. 20 is kind of rude.
Nah, I think 20 for a recent game is pretty damn good.
But compared to some of the ones that were in the top 10,
I have a problem with that top 10. And I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Yeah. 19 is the original Doom from 1993. Not mad at that. 18 Super Mario 64. Do you think that should be higher? Or do you think that's right where it should be?
I feel like in the teens where that should be.
Okay. So where it is.
Yeah.
Technically. Okay. So do you think higher in the teens though? Like closer to 10?
No, it's fine. It could be 18.
Okay. OG Final Fantasy 7 at 17.
Okay.
I can't give any thoughts on that because I've never played it. Skyrim.
I guess. I wasn't a big Skyrim guy, but I know how important it is.
Yeah, I exactly the same as you. Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah. Personally, recency bias, this is in my top 10. If not top 5.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah. I'm not mad at 15, but for me personally, I would put this really up there because it's beautiful. The story is great. It's just fun. Like, you don't feel like you're playing a game. Like, when you're playing it, you're just in it. You know what I mean? So it's a good ass time.
I'm letting you know these next two is where my problems start.
Super Mario World at 14.
Super Mario World should be in the top 10 video games of all time. Like, if we talking all time,
I've never played it.
Super Mario World should be in the top 10.
Where would you put it in the top 10? Like, high or closer to 1?
Super Mario World. It's between that one or 3, but it should be like in the top 5. I don't know.
Okay.
It should be in the top 5.
I have no opinion. All I know is Yoshi's in it because of the screenshot. Next up at 13, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
All should be in the top 5.
I have no thoughts. I've never played it.
I put it like this. When that game came out, well, you know what? I know why it's not, because I see what number 1 is. So that's why it's not in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like when this came out, it was people were calling it, like magazine covers had just blatantly said the greatest game of all time. Obviously, that's of its time. This is in the 90s, but it was that impactful.
True. Those were true.
But well, let's move for the sake of
number
time.
12, Disco Elysium.
I know nothing of Disco Elysium.
I also know nothing. I believe Lucia is a huge fan of that game, though.
Mm-hmm.
At 11, Resident Evil 4.
I'm not mad at that. Just because I know how big of a deal that game is.
I played the demo of the remake. Half-Life 2 at 10.
Mm-hmm.
See, I love Half-Life 2. I don't know if it's... 10 is not bad. I don't know if I would put it in my personal top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the most that I when it comes to that. It's definitely an iconic game, and we need Half-Life 3, which will
forever.
Number 9, Dark Souls. I guess there had to be a From Software game.
If they were going to put Dark Souls here, then I agree with your Elden Ring point. Just put the more refined version here.
Yeah. I feel like Dark Souls is great. Obviously, I'm not good at them, so I understand objectively they're good. I am a shit, so I stay away. The only one that I can play is like Star Wars 1, where it's less punishing. But I don't know, man. I would put Elden Ring there instead. Portal 2 at 8, though. I have an opinion.
You said you have an opinion?
This is top 5 game. Top 5 all time. Portal 2. This game, story or campaign, single player, phenomenal. An amazing ending to the Portal franchise, because technically it was, and I'm not counting the fucking desk one for Steam Deck. Mm-hmm. There's a co-op campaign that's completely separate, but also happening at the same time as the main campaign. And then also, there was community creations where people can make their own levels at the same time. That is the perfect trifecta of a game where all 3 of those things were great.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5.
Not mad at
that. Metal Gear Solid. This is the opposite of Liquid. I don't
know. Metal Gear Solid. I don't mind it up there. I would have put it to the closest to the end of the 10s. Like I might make that 10. You know what I mean?
All right. Number 6, Mass Effect 2. I have no idea about Mass Effect, but I know it is a amazing franchise. I just never dove into it myself.
I'm not mad at that. I've never played them either, but I'm not mad at it given its how much people care about it and what I've heard about it.
5 being The Witcher 3. That makes sense for an all-time. Not my all-time, but makes sense for how big of a franchise it is. Yeah. How big that specific game was as well. Bloodborne at 4.
No. And I know it's big. You know what? If you're going to put Bloodborne at 4, you should put Bloodborne where Dark Souls is and put Elden Ring at 4 in that case. If you're going to do that.
I agree. 100%.
I don't think Elden Ring is the 4th best game in the world. So with that being said, I really think you will need one of those games in that genre up here. And I honestly, you were right. I think didn't make it Elden Ring.
Yeah. Bloodborne's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was kind of like taking the Dark Souls formula and putting like a really weird, almost Resident Evil type feel on it. And I like the feel of it. Lovecraftian, as the description says of it. but I don't think it's number 4. Number 3 being Tetris is kind of slapped in the face, don't you think? Like, Tetris is a good game. We get it. They made a movie this year that was a fucking spy film, apparently, and rated R. But I don't think it's top fucking 3.
Oh no, man. I see why Tetris is up there, though. Tetris is fucking... I know iconic is such an overused word, but at one point, like, Tetris was it was I don't even know what the word to use. Like, Tetris was iconic. Huge. Yeah, it was. Everyone had Tetris in their pocket. Like, Tetris needs to be in the top 10 just based off the fact that it's been everywhere since it came out.
It's even been to Fortnite because it's a battle royale now.
Yeah, right. Like, Tetris is such a building block of video games. No pun intended.
True. Frankie in the chat says Tetris is its own cult of personality.
Tetris is what?
Its own cult of personality.
Yeah.
Look in my eyes, what do you see?
I think I don't mind.
Bunch of blocks stacked up like 3. I don't know. I don't have ant bars. Last of Us as 2.
No.
Top 5, not 2.
Last of Us. Is 2 not better than 1?
I think 2 is better than 1 personally when it comes to story. Gameplay, I think they both suck. I don't like the gameplay in Last of Us, and I'm openly honest about that. I've always said this. I think it's tedious, and I feel like I'm just trying to get to the next cutscene in the movie when I'm playing those games. But the cutscenes are so fucking good, and the story is so fucking good that I will barrel my way through that playthrough.
You know what? Last of Us, I'll concede to it being in the top 5, but I don't think it should be 2.
Oh yeah, not at all.
If it was like 8, 9, I'd be like, no, fine, okay.
Number 1, Breath of the Wild.
I already know how you feel about that.
No. I will be honest and say it's in top 10, maybe even top 5. But for me, this is nowhere close to number 1. Nowhere close.
Now, as the Nintendo guy, I think
an hour, less than an hour,
47 minutes. Breath of the Wild. It's one of those things that is at number 1. I won't argue it. I could argue it, but so many people. This game isn't it because it stands the test of time. It stands the test of recency bias to me.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, maybe it wouldn't be my number 1 game of all time, but I'm not going to sit here and argue with someone who does have it at the number 1 game of all time. And so many people came out when that game came out and said, this is one of the greatest video games ever made.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, even if you just go off pure consensus, and they said there was like 300 people involved in this from all different backgrounds and stuff of this list. And if you got all these influencers and bloggers and game personalities, and this still landed at number 1 out of all of them, and on top of all the notoriety it already had, then all I can sure. Now,
I just don't like it.
I know, and I love it. So for me, it's just like, oh, it's a game I love. Now, is it my personal number 1? Maybe it might be the best Zelda game. I don't think it's number 1. What do you dictate as number 1? Should it be impactful or should it be a game you like? Should it be important or should it be fun and important?
I think those are 3 separate things where you have the both of them. Then there's just the important, and then there's just the personal, you know? Like, you have the personal that's mixed with, like, yeah, obviously this is a great game, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say objectively, and this is going to be hot take of the year, I feel like number one on like the impact right now, if you were to actually look at this objectively and look at what it's done for gaming and how much it has going on inside of it and what's going on still and has been going on for years, fucking Fortnite, dude.
It's not the number one base game.
If you talk about impact of gaming and like the amount of shit that they've done in that game with both Unreal Engine, the creative shit, the amount of collaborations they've had, every video game character wants to be in Fortnite. Whether it be the Battle Royale, whether it be the Save the World where you face the AI, whether it be a completely custom game mode, because you can do anything inside of it now. I feel like that game, first of all, it's 81 on this list, which is, I would say, at least top 50 if we're going like on the scale of this list.
I'll give you Fortnite being in the top 10 at this point. At this point, for what it's done to gaming and the current gaming audience, especially with everything it's done, where it came from, what it built to what it is, to how much it impacted culture and gaming as a whole, then I'll say Fortnite should be top 5. But I don't think Fortnite should be number 1.
So I have 2 issues with this list. And one of them is that when I did Control F, I looked for 2 games specifically. First one being God of War. They only have God of War from 2018 on here. And it's at 47. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. And then my second qualm is that I searched for a singular word and it didn't show up anywhere on this list. Fucking Spider. You're telling me that Spider-Man didn't make a top 100? Bullshit. It is the perfect fucking superhero game.
A lot of these games, is it as good as it is important? That's my question.
For Spider-Man, I would say so, because I feel
it's
like
important for Spider-Man, but it's
it
important for video games.
Yeah,
Video
it's the
games
best Spider-Man
as
video
the
game
industry. Yeah, but is it? It didn't.
You've got the
Spider-Man.
perfect web swinging. You've got the perfect giants. You have a 1-to-1 recreation of New York City in a video game.
So yeah, but all right. You see how we talked about Fortnite and how it literally changed things? Spider-Man didn't do that. It's just it's just a fantastic Spider-Man game.
It's the peak of superhero gaming. And if there's no superhero games on here as well. There's not even Batman. No Arkham City. Arkham City walked so that fucking Spider-Man could run.
Then Arkham City should be up there and not Spider-Man.
Both should be in the top 100 at least.
I'll give you that.
I'm not saying that they need to be up there, but at least top 100 for fuck's sake. God damn. Like, you also, fuck you for putting 47 as God of War GQ. What?
Also, all right, my number 1 standout for this, because again, the importance, impact, and fun sliders that we have. There's not this. I don't care what anybody says. I know where I stand in my fandom, but you can't tell me that there's not one Mario game in the top 10 video games ever. Mario.
The first Mario is 96.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. The original Super Mario Brothers is 96. Video games are video games now because of Super Mario Brothers. It was the first game that had level progression, side-scrolling level, like completion from beginning to. It was the first one, and everybody had it when it dropped. It was impactful. It's one of the most impactful games of all time.
There's no Sonic on the list as well.
Well, Sonic has a bad rap. I get why. That's hater shit, but I'm not surprised it's not. That doesn't surprise me.
No Mega Man either.
Mega Man 2 or Mega Man X, it should definitely be on this list, but they're not, and that's strange to me. You got Fable 2 on here, but Fable 2 is higher than Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah. I think
Grand
my
Theft Auto
biggest issue
4?
has to be that Sims is higher than God of War. Like that's fucked, in my opinion.
Civ 5 is higher than Super Mario Brothers. What else is on here? I see Fortnite. Fortnite should definitely be higher. Firewatch is not better than Super. Tetris is on here twice because Tetris Effect is number 79, which is stupid. It should just be Tetris on here. Tetris Effect didn't change anything. It's just an iteration of Tetris.
It's bad. Also, World of Warcraft is not even top 20. Like, that's such an impactful game.
Yeah, I agree.
Minecraft isn't top 20. Pokemon isn't top 20.
COD 4 Modern Warfare is 71. As far as shooters, that game should be in the top, at least top 30. For what
Journey's on the list. I'm happy.
First person shooters. What number is it?
29. I'm fine with it. I don't give a fuck as long as it's on the list. It's on the list, baby. That's all.
Modern Warfare should be in the top 15 to 20 for what that did to the first person shooter.
1 second. Do they not? They don't have Ghost of Tsushima on this list. Nothing matters. This list is garbage. That solidified it for me. But yeah, that's a list that if you want to go check it out on GQ's website, you can go check that out and complain about it yourself and tell us what your top 5 games are. Comments down below. Call to action. Next up in the news, what do we got?
All right.
We gotta speed through these. It's getting close to your time.
All good. Let me get back. We are at Devolver Digital said yes. They tweeted yes. We're doing a Devolver Direct in June. More information soon. And they had some nice back and forth with the commenters. Somebody said, nice. Let me know if you need any extras to be murdered on it. I'd be down. And they responded, it's not murdered if you volunteer.
True.
Somebody said, will Silk Song be announced in it? Which is a joke based on the fact that people have been waiting for Hollow Knight's Silk Song to drop forever. And Devolver just responds, sure. They don't even make that.
That's so ironic, though.
For the next headline.
The next headline, which is Hollow Knight Silk Song, has been delayed past June 2023.
Perfect timing.
Oh, Devolver. How could you do us like that? Oh, man.
That's so good.
I feel bad for John because he picked that in the Fantasy League, and that's a big old hit right there, sadly. But I think the next thing... Yeah, we're just going to go straight to it. Yeah. What's happening in the next 37 minutes? Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Mm-hmm. The reviews are in the day before the game came out. Actually, it was today. Yes, which is the day before the game came out. Yeah, I was right. Why did I question my own words? I'm stupid. But it's getting very good reviews.
Damn near perfect everywhere.
Yeah. For IGN, this is their review. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is an unfathomable follow-up of one of the greatest games ever made. Bullshit. That was me adding that. Somehow improving upon it in nearly every way, be that with simple quality of life improvements, a genuinely exciting story, or wildly creative building mechanics that make you rethink what's possible. With a 10 from IGN. Going down the list, IGN, all these people are 10s, then I'll say the rest of the ones after they get to the lower scores, but IGN, Inverse, RPG Site, GameSpot, Destructoid, Nintendo Life, and CG Magazine, 10s across the board. Game Informer, 9.8, and then these are all 5 out of 5s, VGC, VG247, Games Hub, comicbook.com, and then Eurogamer gave it a 4 out of 5. With a Metacritic score of 97 and OpenEv 98. And your boy picked this as his number 1 draft pick in the Fantasy League.
It's the perfect choice.
I have secured victory. Probably not. It's a long year to go. But, yeah, man.
It's really not much.
Game good.
Yeah.
Ooh, Nintendo make good game. Whoop-de-doo.
I watched the IGN like video review. And
Yeah.
I can't lie, man. It looks fucking good. The way they gushed over it was like, usually, you know, IGN is just like, all right, tell me why it's good, whatever. But it was a really well done review. And then the shit that's in this game, how big this game is not being stated enough, because the shit they show in that review was like, not only is the overworld big, I don't want to give it away, but there's a whole different level to the main world that's big. It's also big, if not bigger than the updated overworld.
I feel like this should just be called Legend of Zelda Eeg. Beeg.
Eeg. But yeah, going forward, these are quotes. Washington Post said, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is more than double the size of the original game. It has long, engaging side missions that feed into the main story. I mainlined the story in 60 hours and I'm not even close to half finished. Holy shit. They go on to say, temples are indeed back, because everybody was talking about the shrines and how they don't have like the temples anymore. Temples are indeed back with long, engaging warm-up quests that take you above, in, and under Hyrule. Some of these are simply the best in the series' history. The final act is simply the grandest in the series as well. It will surprise and leave you in awe. Best open world. Reading those was like, oh shit. Well, now I'm way too excited.
I feel that. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna end up buying this and playing it tomorrow. Do I play it on stream?
I don't know.
Or do you want to play it on stream?
I don't know. I feel like you have a better shot at having time to play it on Steam than me tomorrow.
I mean, tomorrow you have off.
True. I guess I could.
You could stream it.
I could.
You could be back.
Well, stand by. Maybe.
Stand by for further streams. We'll see what happens.
I have to see whenever Brendan takes a nap or some shit.
Hell yeah. But other than that, I think the only other news that we have is the Asus ROG Ally that we mentioned at the beginning of the stream, if I'm correct. We can end it after that. Oh no, there's a couple of things. Fuck.
No.
But I'm just gonna quickly run through the Asus ROG Ally.
Yo, run through that real quick. I have to pee. I was trying to hold it to the end.
I'm gonna do that quickly. Ready? Here we go. So the Asus ROG Ally compared to the Steam Deck, they both are looking like they got some AMD Ryzen going on. AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme Zen 4 for the Ally, and the Steam Deck is running on Zen 2, so it looks like they're a little bit behind. Graphics RDNA 3 for Asus ROG Ally. Steam Deck's got RDNA 2. The display, 7 inches for both of them, but the Ally is coming in at a 1920 by 1080, while the Steam Deck is at 1280 by 800, which is a weird aspect ratio now that I look at that. 60 hertz and 400. No, wait. Yeah. 60 hertz, and what is that tiny ass letter? Hits? I don't know what the fuck hits are. But 60 hertz for Steam Deck and 120 for the Ally, so they're clocking a little bit better. For the Ally, you got 512 gigabytes plus a micro SD slot. Steam Deck comes in multiple different options for storage. 512 is the maximum, the same as the Ally. So if you want to get the maximum version of the Steam Deck, it's the exact same as the I guess, base version of the Ally. Asymmetrical Xbox style controller layout, no thumb pads or track pads. The symmetrical trackpads are on the Steam Deck. Programmability, those are too fucking small of font for me to read that. Let me zoom. So there's 2 macro back paddles, thumbstick dead zone and sensitivity, and trigger sensitivity as well, which is cool to see that someone besides PlayStation is doing it. And then with the Steam Deck, we just got the 4 macro back buttons that don't have any sort of pressure sensitivity. What is this one? The audio. I don't think anyone really uses the audio from the Steam Deck personally. I have headphones on when I play, but dual front-facing speakers and virtual 5.1.2 surround sound Dolby Atmos is in the Ally, while we just get some dual front-facing speakers that are stereo on the Steam Deck. The weight is a little bit less weight than the Steam Deck, coming in at 669 versus 608. And then extra features, it has haptic feedback, Armory Crate Launcher, and the overlay, fingerprint unlock, and then all we have over on Steam Deck is haptic feedback and thumb trackpads.
Good old thumb trackpad.
That's it all, right as Ant sat back down. I did the thing.
You did the thing. Good job.
But all that being said, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that warrants necessarily buying this as opposed to the Steam Deck. Especially when we talk about price. The prices are $599 and $699 for the Ally, compared to the lowest Steam Deck starting at $399. And the lowest Steam Deck is still pretty good for what it is. So if you have some extra spending money, there's that option for you. Obviously, I don't really think it's necessarily worth it right off the heels of the Steam Deck, unless you have extreme disposable income. We were kind of joking around about getting one for the show just to have it and review it. Don't think so.
No, it's just not. We could be doing other shit with that money.
Yeah,
for
we
the
could do
show.
anything. We have to buy a green screen for something coming soon.
Oh yeah, it's true.
We should probably do that before Monday, huh?
Can we get it before Monday?
Or could we get it on Monday?
Huh?
Do a Micro Center trip?
I don't know.
Unless you,
It's harder now because there's like a baby.
that is true. Yeah. Shit. Maybe I run the Micro Center before I come over for the in-office stay.
We don't have like, is it one on Amazon? We can get like 2-day delivery. It can be here by Monday.
We could do that. We'll discuss this probably tomorrow because you're busy with game after this. But yeah. Next up in the stories, the coolest thing that's happened this week.
Oh man, this is just me, the song.
It's so good.
Tenacious D put out a song called Video Games, animated by Oni. You know, Oni plays Oni cartoons on YouTube.
Oni cartoons, yeah.
It's very good. It's very, very good. Pure Tenacious D style, that Jack Black style. If you're into that, please go watch their new music video called Video Games.
It's a short song too, but it reminds me a lot of I don't know if you listen to the Tenacious D albums or not, but the album where it's
older ones.
Yeah. The one with the black cover and them just two with the devil in the back.
I think I didn't.
And there's like the
one of my
in-betweens.
friends had it.
Okay. But in that album specifically, there's multiple like in-between tracks that I love. Like there's one called One Note Song where it's just him and Kyle going back and forth, like just take this note and just bend it. Just put that little bendy in right there. And we wrote a fucking song. Next song. And then Kyle's like, but that's not a song, man. Someone else probably did. Like, but they didn't do the bendy. I made the bendy. That's what I did. It's me. Fuck you. I win. And I love it.
See, that does sound familiar, so I probably know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Love that shit. And then also cock push-ups, inward singing. Oh, so good. Such a good. Also the song Wonder Boy.
Wonderful.
What is the secret of your power?
I do know that song.
So good. Music video.
From the mucky muck. Okay, I do. Yeah, it's all coming back now.
Yeah. Good album. Go listen to the song. Tenacious D is great. Next up, Jeff Keighley, friend of the show. We love you, Jeff.
We do.
Give us money for something. I don't know. He tweeted out,
Send us
and
tickets to
here.
your show.
Oh, dude, if we went to.
We'll get there.
One day. He tweeted out, and here we go. With more than 40 partners set to take part in Summer Games Fest activities, you can sign up for the alerts now at summergamesfest.com. Join us for the live showcase at the YouTube Theater on June 8th, which we will not be doing. We'll be doing it from the Save Before Quitting Theater basement.
Yeah.
Live.
Oh.
I have to request off for that probably, because I think it's in the middle of the week.
Damn it.
Probably, because they always do that shit in June. So June is next month, 8th Thursday. Yeah, so
Of course,
we got to do that. Maybe I'll request off Friday because fuck working a day after this. But yeah, if you want to go see the full lineup of those 40 people, I'm not going to read off every single fucking place.
Nah.
Because fuck that. But there's a ton of people in this graphic. Go check it out in the Discord.
Everybody you would assume would have been at E3 is here
now. Next time in the news, we got two more. Fuck.
All right. Breaking news. Call of Duty 2023 is reportedly called Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 will feature a campaign, multiplayer, zombies, Outbreak 2.0, and a new Warzone map, Las Almas. Source is Insider Gaming. Insider Gaming is a website and Twitter page. They usually have the inside track, hence the name. They are a trusted source. So.
Oh yeah. I think I would end up buying this one for the campaign, because did they copy the campaigns from the original Modern Warfares, or did they just remake them entirely?
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't bought any of them.
Okay. I might have to do more research, because I remember Modern Warfare 3, when it came out on, I believe it was PS3. That was my favorite campaign that they released, because 2 was great. I loved 2.
Yeah,
Everyone
2 was
loves
great.
2. But then 3 came out. I was in line at GameStop, had my wristband and everything. I still have the game case with my wristband from waiting in line at midnight for the minute release. And I remember loving that story so much. I love the way that it fucking ends when the dude crashes through the fucking ceiling and just like there after all that fucking it's so good. So if it's that but better, I will get this as a campaign, because this was my favorite one besides Black Ops 1, I believe. So like Black Ops 1 campaign a lot. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that, because now I'm a Call of Duty guy again. Quick Call of Duty story. Tim the Tap Man's getting his own operator in the game.
He's coming up, man.
Yeah. The funny part is they already did one for one of the people he streams with, Nick Merckx. And in Nick's skin, he's got like Spartan armor on, because that's like what his logo and shit is based around with streaming. But with Tim, it's just Tim with like tactical gear on his chest and shit, and he's got a backpack with a little plushy penguin that he calls Kevin that sits in the back of the stream, and he also recorded voice lines and shit for it, which is really cool. And then another thing that I'm interested about to see if this turns into something, I'm assuming behind the scenes they probably went the direction to make this not an issue, but he has all of his tattoos that he has on real life on his operator, and then he has blueprints for guns that are his tattoos on the guns.
See, that's some TLC that I like, that you're putting into that character, who are in that game.
Now here's the thing that's interesting though. WWE was recently sued, and 2K was mainly, for including Randy Orton's tattoos on his in-game model, because the tattoo artist said he never gave permission for his art to be in the game. So that was a thing that's been heavily debated. I'm curious if I'm assuming Tim talked to his tattoo artist, because they're actually very close with each other, and maybe there was some sort of financial thing given to the tattoo artist, and we don't know about it. But I'm curious to see if something does come out later about that or not, because with the WWE one, that's just in my brain. So I'm interested to see. Probably not, but we'll see what happens, because I think that they kind of do things the right way. At least Tim does. I've followed him for years, so there's that. Last story though, Too Many Games. It's coming up very, very soon. We will be there together for one day. I'll be there the whole fucking weekend. June 23rd to 25th at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. They just posted their full guest list of who's going to be there. Top of the list, Charles Martinet. Yeah. You can get an autograph for $60 or a selfie. He's going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the whole entire weekend, if you want to go and try and meet him. I'm sure that the Friday line will probably be the simplest to get through. Maybe Sunday. Probably. Saturday's
going to obviously be the hardest day to do anything.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to get a selfie with him. I feel like you kind of have to. Because, like, you're the Mario. Like, we'll fucking say it's a business expense at this point, you know? Like, get him to say, save before quitting or some shit. Yeah, that's cool. I'm fucking sick.
We'll discuss it. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, if it's $60, maybe.
I was like, because a part of me will be like, I mean, we could spend $60 in this, so you just want to go get some food or something for $60.
Just want to go to fucking, what's the place called? It's the official restaurant. Iron Hill.
Iron Hill.
Yeah. Other actors that are going to be there, voice actors, David Hayter, who did Metal Gear Solid, Solid Snake, Captain America, and Watchmen. I'm trying to pick off names that I actually know. Patricia Somerset, who played Princess Zelda. She's in Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Some guy from TMNT, Cam Clark. A couple of anime voice actors that I don't know the names of. Roger Craig Smith, Sonic the Hedgehog, at Apex Legends, Naruto, Bleach, Resident Evil. I don't know any other. Beat 'em ups from YouTube is going to be there. Maybe we can meet up with him and say what's up, get some tips and tricks on how to grow the channel, because that man sure knows how to do it.
Right.
Who else is going to be there? I'm trying to see people I actually recognize, because I don't recognize many. Wolfden, who's on the Nintendo podcast with brain fart of the name I just fucking said, Beat 'em ups, will be there. He's a very big Nintendo creator as well. I don't know any of these other people. I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys make great content, but I don't know you. I'm scrolling so much. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know any of the rest of them. But check out the list. The list is on our Discord, and you can come and meet us for free.
Yeah, we'll be there. We're better than all these people.
I don't know about that. Charles Martinet got a little bit of a one-up. He's charging $60, but you got to be at a tier to charge $60 for a picture.
You're gonna see us say before quitting, guys. I want to see. I'm gonna look at him and be like, $60, Charles. You want to take a picture with us?
You better be Mamma Mia in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's all the news for this week.
Well, this is kind of real quick. This is kind of fucked up. All the people who have prices for all this shit obviously have the price of how much it would cost next to their names. But then right after that, it just says for the people who don't have his autograph, free, selfie, free. You shouldn't say that. It should just not be there, because It makes them seem like they're nothing to the people who charge.
That's true. I also feel like it's nice for some of these YouTubers that are just saying free, because it's like, we're just here because we like the shit, and we happen to have a career because we like the shit, you know? Like,
I'd
at
rather
least for the YouTubers and stuff,
that it's free than they put on the website that, hey, you want to take a picture with this guy? It's fine. It's free. He's not as important.
He's going to ask you for money, and then you can come to this website and see that he said free. But either way, it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be my first time at Too Many Games. I believe yours as well.
Yep.
And there's going to be some cool stuff there. They're going to have an arcade, a board game playing area, CGC stuff. And then also what I'm most excited for, cosplay pro wrestling.
Yeah, I saw that on there.
Yeah. That shit is cool, because they all dress up like different characters in cosplay, and sometimes they act like they have the fucking superpowers of the person that they are, and that's cool as shit. So I can't wait for that. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna see if I don't spend too much money there. Hopefully not too much, but we'll see.
Hopefully not.
So that's the news. Let's get back to regular full cam, and we'll close out the show. This 2-hour-long fucking show.
Right? What a news section.
What a news. Who would have thought? Yeah, I am ready. Oh man, your camera went away. Why did your camera go right there?
Uh-oh. Am I back?
You're back. I don't know what the hell just happened. It went away for a millisecond and then came back. But yeah, I'm ready to go to bed, probably.
For sure.
Yeah. But you're gonna go play Tears of the Kingdom.
I am. I'm gonna mix the shit out of this real quick.
To be fair, we didn't have much to cut out, so it should be pretty simple, straightforward, and I'll be nice.
We got a nice formula down. I don't really have to cut much from our show.
I don't know what to say now. I'm like done mentally.
I feel you.
We said a lot of words in these 2 hours.
We did.
But
man.
Thank you guys for listening. As always, Figure Friday will be tomorrow, unless Ant streams, because that's fine too. If you want to stream in place of Figure Friday, please.
Please.
Go for it.
Maybe I might not be able to do it initially, but if you start Figure Friday, maybe I can come up like halfway through Figure Friday and be like, all right, I'll take over.
All right. Maybe we'll do that. That way I don't have to fucking rage at Overwatch for God knows how long. But yeah, if you guys want to follow us on social media, it's the same every single fucking place that exists at Save Letter B. Number 4 Quitting over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube.
Titty gang.
Titty gang. In which you can purchase some merchandise with that exact phrase on it over on Save Before Quitting, fully spelled out.com with some merch designs there. Got some more stuff coming soon. Maybe some stuff from a different show that might be in production from Ant and somebody else that's going down. Maybe we could toss that in our store just so it's easier for y'all. Yeah, that's going to be a good time, and I can't wait for that to come out. And we got shows on the deck coming soon. What else do we got? Patreon. We got 2 extra podcasts a month that you guys get, where we just bullshit, and it's most of the time shorter than this.
Yes.
And a little less video gamey. Sometimes games sprinkle their way in, but it's mainly just like bullshit topics and what I think about when I'm high, which is a lot of weird stuff and sometimes politically stuff. We never got any comments about some of the stuff we said in the last episode, and I'm like, did nobody listen yet? Or are they just like, I don't know, fine with it? I don't think we said anything problematic for that to be an issue, but I'm like, nobody wants to throw their opinion.
Put their 2 cents in.
Yeah, like, I don't know, but it's fine.
We just got to build that audience. That's all.
Yeah. And that's perfectly fine. And we'll do that on our own time. New show coming soonish. At least by next month, there's going to be a new show on the channel. That's going to be more frequent, I would say, because we can kind of like bulk record it. And then I can just like pump it out easily. So
for sure.
Yeah, pump out the jam.
Pump up the jam, turn it up.
Sex included.
Sex confirmed. Listen, man, if you have if you're looking to have sex, Starfield comes out this fall. And sex is confirmed.
It does come out.
CUM.
You know? You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I'm tired. I am warm. I'm ready to go to bed, but I'm going to play Jedi Survivor probably because nobody's playing Overwatch anymore. So that gives me the free pass to go back to Ginger Jedi.
True. You think I can mix this episode in 13 minutes?
Oh, for sure. I feel it won't. I don't think it'll render in that time. I think
I'm about to say, wait a minute.
Save it.
I gotta go get my Switch out of my bedroom.
Yeah, I feel like you'll be able to. Though. I think you can edit it in the time that you need to, and then it'll just, it'll be good. You know what I'm saying? And just save it, and then let it do its thing, and then sit down on the couch and put it on a big screen.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing on the big screen, I assume, right?
I plan to. Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say you can't not.
I know I know me though. I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna get like 45 minutes in, and I could just be like, slow head nod.
It's gonna be a good time though. But before you confirm that you have sex in Starfield, make sure you always do.
Save before quitting.
We will see you next week where Ant will definitely have played a game.
Yep, I promise.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Next
week you're gonna be a fucking here's the thing. What if you hate the game?
That's not gonna happen.
But what if it's what if all these reviews are just like normies reviewing the game and they're just like so fucking good, but then you play it and for some reason it's just stupid.
Please believe me, as much as I love Nintendo and love Zelda and all that stuff, if I don't like this game, I'm gonna be even more excited to record next week. I'm like, please put me on a microphone.
I don't want you to not like it, but also that I'm gonna love it. Fun. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna love that game.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have a good time. Who would think?
Right.
But all right. Well, that's the quickest post-credit scene ever. We're gonna call it a night there, so Ant can go have a good time, and get shit done before, he has to play. Have a good night, guys. If you guys are still with us at this late hour, have some fun with Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom. Holy shit, you guys are still here, says CLD. Yes, we are.
And this is the end.
And we're 10 minutes away. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Peace.
All right, we are not live anymore.
All right, cutting the recording.